Tara, just because you put the beer in a coffee mug doesn't make it coffee.
I never said it was coffee.
You're not respecting the format of our show.
So Kevin Spacey.
Yeah. Kevin Spacey.
He's a person who's doing things.
You know what they should have done is saved him for E3, have Kevin Spacey come out on stage and announce the game.
That would be awesome, actually. That would be really dope.
Oh my gosh.
No, he's far too busy a man to get involved with that kind of stuff. But it looks like he did the mocap for this game.
I have to imagine that they didn't hand animate that because that would require fucking Pixar.
No,
like,
no, not at all.
It's so Kevin Spacey looking.
I thought the voice acting in the trailer was really, really good, actually.
Like, because they hired an actor to do it.
Yeah, he plays such a good, like, evil, xenophobic man.
Yeah, he's basically doing his House of Cards character, right? Let's be honest.
But without the crazy accent.
Right, with a slightly less crazy accent.
Also, did you notice Golden Gate Bridge?
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
San Francisco?
Part of it takes place in San Francisco, and then there's like Africa and somewhere else.
I just don't care.
Well, I mean,
I just don't care about Call of Duty anymore.
So that's to be expected.
Totally. Like, I feel like we've been saying this for years, right? Like, it's just, I know that it's near future, or instead of near future, I know that it's gonna change things. I just, in a small way, they're gonna mix up the formula, of course, but like, the first thing I saw was the title. Call of Duty, I'm gonna fuck it up because it's so boring. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare? Advanced Wars.
Which makes me think that this is gonna sort of take the place of Modern Warfare now, and they might expand it into a trilogy, which would be cool because, I mean, the plot, it's about like private military corporations, right? And they basically go around the world and like fuck people's shit up. So it's kind of like an infinite possibility.
I guess. I mean, there's so many things that when you look at that trailer, like, that feel like Titanfall, or that feel like Destiny. They've got the hover bikes, they've got the jumping and the mech suits, and I'm like, all I can think of is, okay, we had a decade where it was World War II games all the time, and then we had like 7 or 8 years where it was all modern day shooters. Is the next thing is it all just gonna be near future?
Yeah, of course.
So I guess. I mean, I just wonder what comes after that.
It definitely feels like it has more of a Halo feel to it than like a typical Call of Duty feel, and that actually appeals to me more because the Halo franchise is just, it's more appealing to me than Call of Duty. So in that sense, I don't mind it. And like, they kind of went that way with the last Call of Duty game. There were like drones and stuff in it. And there's still drones in this one, it looks like, but there's like exoskeleton suits and like stuff you would never really expect to see in a Call of Duty game.
Like the gloves that they show with the wall climbing. So here's the one conceivable situation in which I would find this game exciting. I think if they go in a Titanfall-like direction in terms of the way you move around the world, the long jumps that they show, like Call of Duty with long jumps and wall climbing and parkour-ish stuff, could potentially make Call of Duty less boring to me. Yeah. Because I care a lot about games where the locomotion feels good, and I think that's what's interesting about Titanfall.
I completely agree.
But overall, it's just like, I just can't imagine being the type of person. Well, there are two types of people who I can't imagine being. One of them is someone who sees the name of this game and is like, that's a cool name. That's an exciting, cool name for a game. The other person is being the person who sits in a room and workshops a name of a game and lands on that as like an interesting and okay answer.
Yeah.
It's got to come from some sort of statistical, like, hey, we figured out games with warfare and the title sell 10 times more.
Well, I'm sure people would recognize it more easily because of the Modern Warfare series, and that's usually what people associate Call of Duty with. So in that way, I can see why they did it.
Yeah.
I obviously think it's a boring name because it absolutely unequivocally is.
It just is too boring video game words. Like, I was trying to remember the name earlier, and it's like, I get it confused with Warfighter, and every Ghost Recon, and every Medal of Honor game.
It's like,
they're all the same name. There's 4 words that they use.
I would venture to guess that half of all shooters contain some form of the word war.
Yeah, in case you forget from the 2-minute trailer of dudes. I mean, that's the other thing that kind of annoyed me about this is like, you can have a famous actor talk over your 2 minutes and 45 seconds of dudes shooting each other, saying smart-sounding shit about the nature of war, but it's still 2.5 minutes of like dudes shooting each other.
But it elevates it so much because you just listen to Kevin Spacey, and his voice is like butter.
Look, I love me some Kevin Spacey. It's going to be another Call of Duty game, and the idea of this being 3 Call of Duty games in this style, I'm just like... I mean,
that's just my speculation, but...
Yeah, but that idea...
Nothing would surprise me
No, it's not. It wouldn't be surprising. And the first... I'm already bored of it, and I found out about it 12 hours ago.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I'm still in the honeymoon period.
Maybe it's not for us though, you know?
Well, no, because we're not into Call of Duty.
Yeah, no one on the sort of press side is, so maybe us complaining about it is goofy.
There's like 3 people who are super into it.
Yeah? Name them. Name them and shame them.
Well, Jackie
Talbot,
does
good
not
example.
work in the games press, technically. She's literally the only person I know in real life, actually, who's super into Call of Duty.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think I just hang out with too many hipsters.
Maybe. Or maybe the games press, I don't know. It's weird though, right? Because like, no one in the games press, for the most part, is like super into Call of Duty with a couple of exceptions here and there. But it's also like the biggest best-selling anything ever in the history of human existence.
Of course.
So there's this interesting like balance of like, we don't care about it, but that's what video games are to like an enormous chunk of people. Like people who walk into a GameStop and just ask for Call of Duty and leave.
Yeah, I would venture to guess that a lot of people who are really into Call of Duty now are not the type of people who necessarily grew up on games or like the retro games that you and I grew up on, which we have an innate appreciation for. So there are tons of people out there who only play Call of Duty, and that's all they play.
Yeah, totally.
And those people aren't going to be in the games press, you know?
Yeah, meanwhile, you and I are going to go check out a game next week that's like a World War I adventure game. And
it's like an emotional storytelling experience.
Yeah, set in the First World War, and it's like, man, I don't think there's one video game industry anymore. I think there's like 8 of them, and they all cater to totally different groups, and that's fine.
That's fine.
I hold nothing against people who enjoy Call of Duty. I was there once, and then they made that game, and then they made that game again, and then they made that game again, and now I'm kind of over it. But
repeat ad infinitum.
that's just me.